What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 3 different altcoins today. It's a bit of a dog day because we'll be talking about Dogecoin and Shiba Inu today, and then finishing it up with SIDUS, I don't know, Doge for iCigar, Shiba for OG Killa, and SIDUS for Peter Davies. My friends, let's get started. Oh, all right. Looking at the chart here, I think the last time I talked about Doge, we were up here. I'm pretty positive. I don't know. It's been a second since we've talked about Doge. Doge is one of my favorite cryptos. It's actually one of the coins that I plan on buying, like having a fat bag of in this market and making a decent amount of money in this market too with Doge. I just don't think it's the right time to buy yet. And I didn't think it back here. I didn't think it back here, and we still went up. I remember back here I was saying we'd go down, and I thought we were going to go lower, but we actually went higher. We did go down briefly. But it definitely, I wasn't personally expecting this move up. But nonetheless, I know I had a lot of you asking if the plans were changed for Dogecoin. I know a lot of you were feeling FOMO, and it's normal. It's normal to feel FOMO. There's some people out there that say you just shouldn't feel FOMO ever. You need to control yourself. We're human beings. Even the people that say you shouldn't feel FOMO, they feel FOMO at times, right? It's normal. Let's be real with ourselves. It's normal to feel FOMO, especially when you're interested in buying something. But you need to address that feeling. You need to address that emotion. It's a very powerful emotion, man. And anytime I've felt FOMO personally, unless it's been like an in and out trade, like real quick, which it never is. When you feel FOMO, you tend to want to be in it for a while, and it screws you up. It's never a smart move to make decisions off of FOMO. If you feel FOMO for something, you need to just acknowledge that feeling, accept that you've missed the boat. You missed a prime opportunity to buy, and look elsewhere, or be patient and wait for the price to come back down. Over here, I was saying that I would expect the prices to go down. I've been saying for at least a month or two now that I think prices will go back below 7 cents again, and we got close down here. We're not quite there yet, but I even think we could go back below 6 cents. I don't know if we will go below 5 cents. For a while there, basically up until this last move up, I had been under the assumption that we would move below 4 cents, below 3 cents even, but I think that that's no longer in the equation, unfortunately. But fortunately enough, we're not going to be not going to be buying up here. For those of you that did, that's okay. Hopefully you didn't throw the whole bag in and you're ready to DCA and buy some more as we go lower. We absolutely could go back to these lows. I very much think we would. That's in the personality of Dogecoin. It likes to lag. It likes to lag for a long portion of the market. But you guys have already heard that whole song and dance that I've talked about Dogecoin, like basically every video I've made talking about that. So I'm gonna go more over the immediate term stuff and not so much the long-term stuff. So let's look at the immediate term stuff, right? Hell of an intro. I don't know if it was, but here we are on the weekly. Below the green line. The green line's postured down. We are looking like we're bouncing off the 50. It is still the beginning of the week. We have 5 days, 21 hours, essentially 6 days left. Hell of a bearish close that week. I would say that we're seeing a little bit of life right now because of Bitcoin and because that there's this huge anticipation on the ETFs. I think Dogecoin will be one of the many coins that will be negatively impacted by the news whenever the news comes out. Whether it's positive news or negative news, the price action will be negative. So I would expect that we continue to move down, and being that the decision is going to come out either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'd be shocked if it came out. I'm already shocked that it's taken this long for the decision to be made. I think that's something that nobody really expected personally, because the SEC normally comes out with their decisions like a week before or days before. Now we're coming out either a day before or the day of. It's crunch time right now. So either way, sometime this week we're gonna have that news, and I think we will see a sell the news event. From low to high here, we can see that we bounced off the 0.5. Looks like we've found a little bit of resistance on the 382. Let's see. Let's go on the 4 hour here. Might have to shrink that down a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, I really do think we're working our way down to the 618, 69 area, which would put us between about 6.5 to just under 7 cents. I very much do believe that Doge will go under 7 cents. We could see a flash crash with the rest of crypto, depending on what Bitcoin does and depending on how crypto acts to this negative news. With the pump that we had today, or I guess yesterday, right, because the day just closed not too long ago, I would expect that we see some immense volatility to the downside. But It all depends. I don't know. Again, I personally don't believe that we're going to go lower than this low here. I don't think we'll see prices below 5 cents, but we could go all the way down to the 786, 886 level, which would be anywhere from about 5.7 cents to about 6.1 cents. So 6.16 cents. If not there, then somewhere in the white zone or in between. So I would say really it's kind of a big range. It's a bigger range than I would normally give, but knowing how Doge performs, how it likes to do, if this will load, I don't know why it's taking it. Okay, there we go. I would expect that we do see the bottom of this range, so I would think that we do go probably below 6.5 cents, but holistically speaking, or to like encapsulate the whole realm of possibilities, I would say that anywhere from just below 6 cents to anywhere just below 7 cents is possible for the price to achieve before maybe we flatten out and then move up again. I don't think we're anywhere near the time frame where Doge is going to break out and do Doge things. I think that we're still range bound for quite some time. It's going to be quite some time actually after the halving that I think Dogecoin starts to take off and do more bullish things. But I'm not saying that it's going to go down that whole time. I'm just saying before we see candles like this, right, where we see these crazy Dogecoin candles that we're used to, it's probably going to be later in the cycle. That's why I'm personally just being patient with Doge. I'm waiting. I definitely plan on scooping some up down there, but I'm not buying here. So looking at the weekly RSI, yes, we're bouncing off the 50 now, but all it takes is a red week to cross below this 50, and then we're back down in the negative zone where we'll probably see price drop, see the RSI drop, and maybe find support around this area as before, or maybe even get oversold. Looking at the daily here, we are already bouncing off the oversold zone. We have a higher high in the RSI while having a high here, a lower high here that is hidden bearish divergence. I would say that we are in a downtrend right now, a more momentary downtrend. So I do think this marks continuation. Yes, we've gotten a couple bounces off the screen line, but if it were to be respected, we would see a more positive reaction. I don't think that we're getting that. So I do think we will break this line. All of it lines up with Doge going down. Again, where's the price going to go? Where do I expect? Probably anywhere from about like 5.9 cents to 6.9 cents, somewhere in that range. And truthfully, I would expect closer to like in between there, right? Like directly in between there, around 6.5 cents, maybe just below that. And that's where I'll be buying. But I'll let you guys know when I'm planning on buying Dogecoin. I do plan on buying it, but I'll let you know whenever I do have a buy. I haven't bought any yet. I do have money set aside specifically for Dogecoin. And it's actually, before I move on to Shiba, my plan with Dogecoin is to take profits from other coins whenever we're over halfway through the cycle, just barely over halfway, and then take some of those profits, not all of them, but some of those profits, and move them into Dogecoin while Dogecoin is still low. I think that a lot of cryptos are going to take off. Dogecoin is going to lag, and then you cycle those profits into the one that has yet to pump. And Dogecoin loves to pump, but it just likes to show up late. So I think it'll work out well. But I'll let you guys know whenever I'm making my purchases. None of this is financial advice. Do what you want. Make your purchases. Make your sells as you want to. But I don't think it's a good time to buy really any crypto right now. But let's talk about Shiba. Shiba Inu. On the weekly, I've had a couple of you maybe ask about it, but also I've just seen people talk about it, and people say Shiba is dead, and I don't think Shiba is dead. It might be a lot less relevant in this cycle, and I do not expect it to do as well as it did in the previous cycle, but I do think it'll do well still. I do think that you will see some growth. I'm not convinced that you'll see new all-time highs, and I actually want to go. I want to see what the market cap is for Shiba real quick, because it's still fairly high. 5.5 billion. Okay, so 5.55 billion. If it were to see a 10x, that'd be a 55 billion. If it were to see a 100x, that would be a 500 billion, right? Yeah. So I don't think it's going to see a 100x in this cycle, right? I don't think Doge will see a 100x either. Probably anywhere from a 30 to a 50x though. But a 10x would be about 50 billion. That would already put you back at all-time highs. I think that might be where you find your limits. If you go past that, it'll be just barely. But let's see here. Top to bottom. I mean, your 1272s all the way up here. That could give you a 19x, 20x. That would give you, right? That would give you about a $100 billion market cap. So I personally just don't see that happening. Maybe just shy of $100 billion is possible, but personally with Shiba, I'm not really expecting it to even break all-time highs. If it does, I would think it'd be more of like a double top all in all. I'm looking more, first at the 618 to the 69. That could be anywhere from like a 3 to a 4x. The 786 would promote a 5x, and the 886 would promote a 7x. So a lot lower in growth. I do think Shiba will perform well overall in the cycle, right? Especially compared to a lot of stocks in the world. But compared to cryptos, I think there are better prospects out there. But that's just my opinion. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. But I don't think Shiba will hold the same relevance as it did last cycle. But again, I can be wrong. Looking at this right now, it kind of looks exactly like Doge, right? You got the higher high right here. You're coming down. You're at your 50 right now, bouncing off it. But all it takes is this week to close red, which you're barely under 4% in the green, so it doesn't take much to flip this week red. We have 6 days left in the week, so I do think that it will flip red. I think you'll cross below this 50 here, and you will probably see prices continue to go down. All in all, this looks like a rejection right off the overbought zone. You've seen that before. What did you do last time? Well, you went down. You went down. I don't know if you'll see a lower low. You could. I think it is possible. I do think it's possible. It really could see a lower low than that. I don't think that's its all-time low, but I mean, maybe it is on this chart, but I don't know if that's its all-time low because I think it did exist before this, but this is just the Coinbase listing, But I very much do think it's possible to go below this low. There's not many cryptos that, in my opinion, have the potential to go lower than their bear cycle lows already, right? And I don't think that this thing has found its low yet. If not, I still do think that it will go below this low. Maybe it forms some kind of a double bottom here, whatever, but I think it does have a bit of a ways to drop. Unless you close this week green. If you close this week green, and that's where patience can pay off. If you wait for this week to close and you see how it performs, a bounce off this 50 would be really nice. It would be. The last time you bounced off the 50 right here, you had a nice 8% week followed by a 14% week, and then you went even higher the next week. And then, of course, you turned around. Anytime you've rejected the 50, which you've just shown significance at several times on the weekly on this, you've rejected the 50 here, went down, rejected the 50 here, went down, rejected it kind of here, went down. I think a bounce would promote growth, but I'm just not personally expecting that. Looking at the daily does look weak on the RSI. The price, again, showing relevance on this 123, but not getting the reaction that you'd like to see. It really does look a lot like Dogecoin's price action. That's kind of crazy, but a little bit weaker. I would think that it wants to go down. You're flirting with this bearish area of control. I think you've yet to see the strongest move of this turmoil yet. I think it's coming soon, and you'll probably see prices go down. What are you at right now? 5094. You'll probably see prices soon enough in that 507 range, maybe even lower. But I think it definitely has lower to go. Probably a 30% drop or greater, something that would take you back below here or even lower is what I'm expecting. So that's Shiba. I don't think that it's irrelevant as far as potential gains go. I do think it's irrelevant as far as is it going to capture the attention of retail investors, of institutional money, of anybody wanting to pump this thing up to the moon? I don't personally think it's relevant in that sense, but I do think it still has decent gains to make throughout the cycle. I just think there's other cryptos that will perform better. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. Could this be one that I'm wrong about? Sure, but it's no skin off my back either way because I'm not investing in it. I'm not going to try to buy it. Anyways, let's see. SIDUS crypto. That one there. Maybe KuCoin. No. Maybe Gate.io. Hey, there we go. I want to use Gate because I want to use volume. I want to see the volume, Not a whole lot of volume right now, and that's okay. Actually, to be completely fair, because we'll look at it in the relative term, I'll probably shift back to KuCoin here, but just for now, I want to do a couple of things. 1618 resistance, holding support at the 1272. This is nice structure overall. I don't think anything's safe from the sell the news event that we're about to see, though. top to bottom here, rejected the 236, double bottom. You're wrestling with the 382. Nice. Yeah, I very much do think that you will see this come back probably to the 236, probably to this previous area of resistance. That's what I'm thinking. That would make sense to me. How much of a drop is that from here? You know, that's pretty sizable. It doesn't look that big on this chart, but you know, we're dealing with big numbers here. That's a and I say big numbers, and it's not even worth a cent, but you know what I mean. 50% of a drop, potentially even a little bit more than that. It wouldn't be. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing to be concerned about if it goes below the 236. It's normal. Okay, it's totally fine. It would be nice if it did go below the 236 to come back up and close above it. You'd like to see your weekly closes above it, but even if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. You still have other areas of support. Maybe just go lower. If we look at the more relative fib here from bottom to top, you know, you got your 618, 69 down here, even your 786 at these previous areas of resistance. So that would just be not exciting in the sense of like losing money, because you could see an 80% drop or so at that rate. But again, it does look kind of nice for what it is. You know, you're definitely seeing a breakout here. Not a lot of volume, and this is where we're going to move over to KuCoin to see what's up with that. Okay, there you go. You're getting an increase in volume there, so that's nice to see. On a weekly basis, yeah, you were overbought. Bearish divergence coming out of the overbought zone. I do bet you go lower. This one probably has a more accurate reading of price actually, because it's got more volume. So the 382 is all the way down here at 003351, which is basically where your high was on the day of listing for KuCoin. So that could make sense to see prices bounce around there. If not, you will see prices drop all the way down there. By down there, I mean 001796 or 001484, somewhere in that range, with the potential to even go lower. But I very much do. I'm looking for support around this area. And again, just like I was saying with the 236 before, you can go a little bit below it. It's okay. It's very common to go a little bit below the 382, especially in coins like this, which I'm assuming is a low cap coin. Nothing to worry about. As long as you're closing weeks above it, or if you do close 1 week below it, get that next week to close above it, and you're okay. Looking at the daily here, to me it looks like it's topped off. Yeah, you kind of had this like slow like breakout to the downside. You're finding resistance now right where you had support before, right there. Resistance becomes support. I'll get rid of the fib here, or support becomes resistance. I mean, you're finding resistance on the 50. I do think that you're going to go down. And look at that, man. Look at that actually. Right there, the green line, the 123 moving average is right there by the 382. And generally in an uptrend, whenever you go below the 123, that's like a prime area to buy. So I do think all of these coins look like they want to go down. SIDUS probably the most, but that's, you know, it's probably a lower cap, so that's just to be expected. Nothing is safe, man. Nothing is safe. Definitely not a good time to get in the markets, even with today, even with Bitcoin doing bullish things. Everybody's so excited about it. It moved like 6% today, guys, which is great. It's great for Bitcoin. That's a multi-$100 billion market cap. That is phenomenal. But we've seen days where Bitcoin pumps 20%, right? That's a 6% day. It's exciting in the midst of all this ETF stuff, but really, I think once we see the repercussions of this, it's not going to be so exciting. We're going to forget about this day really quickly, but I can be wrong. Maybe I'm just too bearish. I don't think I am. I think there are people out there who are a lot more bearish than I am. I think I'm just realistic, but time will tell. Time will tell. At any rate, I do expect to see drops across the board for any crypto over the coming week and weeks to come afterwards. So with that, I leave you. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate all of you for coming. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.